Good morning, afternoon, evening, depends on when you're watching this. But my name is Brian. It's the Driver Recap Show, talking drama football all day, all the time. A little bit of a lie this season, but that's okay. Haven't recapped as many weeks as I would have liked, but here we are. Week 14's in the books. And really, what is there really to say about Week 14? Do I need to go through every matchup? I don't think I do. This has been one of the eventful, but yet least eventful Week 14s we've ever had, I think. We kind of knew all 8 teams who were going to make it going in. You know, obviously there was some change in seedings, but with our choices, that always doesn't change too much. Charlie did everything he could to try and make the most improbable Week 14 playoff push, and then Kevin Lamb just came down and laid the hammer with Josh Allen and Jamar Chase. Guys, how, for those that got to watch that Rams-Bills game, was it the Rams-Bills? I think it was, right? How was that? Because it kind of seemed like it was like the Chiefs-Rams of 2018, that 51-49 game or something along those lines. Sheesh, 51 points, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. God, I feel bad for whoever has to play Kevin Lamb in this year's edition of the playoffs. With that, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, boys. You guys don't want to hear me talk this week. You want to hear the fellas talk. This is when the personalities come alive. This is when creativity peaks, and I'm excited. So without further ado, I'm going to send it over to our commissioner, the #1 seed, the man who's going to put this all together this year, Great Jones, run by none other than Ian Jones. Thank you.
You can ride all day long. Another Mike Diesel production. But you'll never catch Mr. Jones. He's got a gang that's far too strong.
I say.
Your friends know it. That's why you're all alone. Chasing a man you can't see. So just walk away and let him be. He's got a shotgun, so go back home. Cause you'll never get Mr. Jones.
All right, guys, what's up? How we doing? I did just walk to like 2 liquor stores within a couple of blocks from here. It is pouring rain in New York City right now, and none of them had Great Jones whiskey, the namesake for my team. Disappointed, bad luck already. Anyways, if you couldn't tell from the start of this video, it was a mild homage or riff off of their previous content. This person does not provide a lot to talk about. In fact, you could argue that if the toilet bowl loss punishment was stand-up comedy, outside of Scalara, this person would also probably be terrible at it. So my opponent is Eric Olson. For some reason, every video I recall him ever making is kind of just him listening to Mac Miller and wearing a sweatshirt with the hood up. So Eric, I'm coming for you. Didn't want to pick Marsh. He's got Derrick Henry against the Giants. It's going to be 4 touchdowns. It's going to be a 4-touchdown game, and it might even be a 4-touchdown or a 2-touchdown game for Lamar. Want to do a couple things here. I want to give a nice little shout out to Chris Godwin. RIP. The Ravens, of course, had to blow up your hamstring, your kneecap, whatever it was. Eric, you can speak to that if you want, Doc. But yeah, last 30 seconds of the game, the #1 wide receiver in the league by fantasy points was removed. I have more or less continued my my winning from there, silently going as the #1 seed here. So listen, Eric, you're a Ravens fan. Love you to death. It's hard to make such hateful content for a Ravens fan. So especially somebody like you who I'm going to challenge to provide something really strong in the content department once I send this over to you. Give us something to talk about, to laugh about. I'm sure, as you guys are aware, I've recorded this like 7 times, and every time I've drank like half a beer or 2. So, This is my third and final beer, so it has to be my last attempt. Anyways, Eric, you're going down this week. I don't love really anyone on your team. You got a nice scoring roster, but you're coming off of a 134 week. I'm coming off of a Mac Jones subbed for 2 points week. So lightning doesn't strike twice. I think this week I'm going to recover with Lamar at the helm, going for 127, and I think you'll maybe just crest 100 points. Listen, Eric, your ride to 3-time Super Bowl is going to cut short. Hopefully our boy Lamar, his ride to 3-time MVP doesn't get cut short and continues to improve this week. Best of luck to you, kid. Later.
Roku man, what's up? I'm gonna do this real quick outside the hospital parking lot, looking like probably a psychopath if anyone walks by. There's actually like 7 security guards like 50 feet away just talking, not providing security. Maybe they're talking about all those UFO sightings that have been going on in New Jersey. I don't know, it's really weird shit. Just literally automobile-sized drones just hovering around at night. My brother said he literally heard one hovering above our townhouse the other day. I don't know. I feel like I'm in an episode of Ancient Aliens, to be honest. But yeah, I just want to be quick here. We got the ticket to the lottery. That's all you need. Just be in the playoffs and hope for the best. We avoided the juggernaut and using math analytics. It's 2024, James Ortiz. Sometimes you just have to make winning plays and hope for the best. But yep, Roku man. I just want to do a quick shout out, throwback to something back in Newcastle, just so we have a good idea of how this matchup's going to go. All right, and no, I'm not talking about the time where you brought up the Irish potato famine with a bunch of people from Ireland at a pregame. Not talking about the time in the Scottish Highlands where we found out you couldn't read. I'm talking about the time where me and you went to the New Zealand All Blacks versus Tonga rugby game in the World Cup. And, you know, New Zealand, they were the number 1 seed, the big seed. They've won a bunch of titles in the past. I don't know, kind of sounds similar to someone facing this Tonga team who thinks they're also, you know, hot stuff. They got their own little dance. They both did their dances before the game. And then as it turns out, the stud just kicked their ass. I don't know. I think it was like 60 something to nothing. So that's how I view this to go. We're gonna show our true prowess as a 2-time champion, and we're gonna get it done. Just need Kenneth Walker to go on IR with his calf injury, and Charbonnet to continue being the stud. Handcuffs have won championships. Just ask Weston. He won with that motherfucker. Jamal Williams put up, I think, 35 points against me in his championship. It's happened before. It'll happen again.
Well, look at who we have here. Little Joey has finally returned, just in time for the best video of the year. I'm back in my safe space, back in my home. I know I've been slacking with content this season, so rather a rant, I will be making my selection in the form of a poem. Another successful season for me as a top seed. Will I get the credit I deserve? Never, so long as I lack the championship I desperately need. So now it's time for my selection. For whom should I pick? I don't really think my team is that good, so an early congrats to whoever gets my last lick. Kevin scares me. Oh man, oh man. But it's not just Jamar Chase or Josh Allen. Are we sure it was Luigi? Because I think it may have been Lamb. Brian Marsh, congrats on your big day. I'd love to get revenge for last season, but I wouldn't want to bother you on your honeymoon, so I'll get out of the way. Michael Weston, always a tough out this time of year. He may think his team is better than it actually is, but Nico, coming off a bye, gives me fear. So James Ortiz, have a drink, but don't get sloppy. You've been one of the worst in the league for years now, so you are my pick. I hope you are ready, Poppy.
Alright, I'm gonna hide this dog treat for Mookie. Let's go. Not you, silly, stay. Alright. Put it right in between the files. Let's see if you can find that. Alright. Go get it. Just like that, the Latin mooks are off. Might take us a little bit. We're not gonna get it on the first time. Or maybe we will. But the Latin mooks are gonna find that win. Just like Mookie found his treat, baby. Latin mooks forever. Good morning. Joseph Narduli picked me, and I'm happy. I'm happy it's not Kevin Lamb. I thought I was going to be playing Kevin Lamb. So that makes me happy. And I think historically I'm 1-0. They're going to show in the playoffs. So let's see if I can make that 2-0. My guys have some tougher matchups, but either way, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. And if Joe wins, so be it. That being said, I loved his poem. Very tasteful. Kevin Luigi reference was pretty spot on. Hilarious. Best of luck, Joe.
Hello, Gentlemen's Club, and what a fantasy season it was. Another third place finish for your boy Tony Marullo, aka the Douchey Dutchman, and it feels so good. I want to do a quick interpretation of the fantasy draft this year. Let's go back to about August, September of this year. This is a snapshot of you all. Oh my God, I'm so stressed out. I've been on the clock for 3 minutes. I'm starting to sweat. Zamir White or Anthony Richardson. I think they're both going to be so good this year. And here's an interpretation of me during the fantasy draft. Oh yeah, Marsh, I'm playing a little golf right now. What's going on? Oh, the fantasy draft. Okay, get me Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin and Justin Jefferson. I'll figure it out from there. I don't even have to be at the fantasy draft to beat some of you all. Think about that. And now it comes to my pick. And there's no other. I mean, there are a couple choices, but there is no other right choice for me than little bitchy Michael Weston. Wait, why is this sounding so familiar? I feel like I've said this before. And here comes a flashback. Fucking Weston's such a bitch, dude. He's calling Jones up because of a fantasy lineup choice that I made? He's threatening not to go to the draft next year. Sounds like a treat for us all. We won't have to break a sweat or break an ankle playing beer die. I can't believe this fucking Hardo Weston's fucking with my boy Conboy over a damn cornhole set. Or wait, what was it? No, not can jam. Spike ball. This fucking Hardo. I'm riding with my boy Conboy. Weston, you've always been a bitch, buddy. Oh, it's Anthony Severino Marullo III, my firstborn son. I hope you grow up to be in a fantasy league where you form a rivalry with a really bitchy guy. His name, very generic, Michael Weston. He's a big bitch. He's a big bitch.
What's up, fellas? What's up, Tony? Thanks for picking me again another year. I'm starting to think that maybe you don't enjoy watching football in a stressful environment on Christmas. So you just pick me round one so you can get your season ended pretty quickly. You can't tell by my voice. I think I caught whatever that bridesmaid at Marsha's wedding had that caused her to pass out because I feel like absolute shit. But I wanted to cover a few things that you brought up in your video, starting with the convoy incident. I'll die on that fucking hill. That was our spike ball set. We were actively playing a game and it had a better netting setup. And he's just like, I'm going to claim that. It's the closest one to me as I'm leaving the beach. It was like, I'm breaking your game up and I'm going to take this spike ball. It was Carol's spike ball set. We were on it the whole day. It just happened to be closer to that fuckboy convoy as he was leaving the beach. So thank you for bringing that up. Get me heated. Next point, don't call this a rivalry. The closest thing to this being a rivalry is maybe a sibling rivalry. And you're like my little brother, physically and figuratively, that I would give a controller with no batteries to. Okay, so this isn't a rivalry. All right, I've been here. My name's on the trophy. You're like a happy to be here type of guy. And that's fine. That's your identity in the league. People love it. Some people hate it. Not going to say any names. But yeah, and you're also to bring up last year's rule, whatever you want to call it. You call me whining. You're the only person who cares so much about not adhering to rules, and it's a very legitimate rule. No actual league in the world would let the team just kind of throw like that. I understand maybe we need to add a roster spot so this incident doesn't happen, but another hill that I'm willing to die on. I haven't really looked at your team. I remember looking at your team maybe a month ago during like the trade deadline week, and I was like, holy shit, this guy has nothing to offer me. I was seeing names like Chuba Hubbard, who was a Tokyo Knights reject, pop up. And yeah, Jefferson's like a good, wide receiver, but like, is he that good? And you're live and die by the Washington offense. So I'm not worried. I knew you were picking me based on how the teams fell, right? I'm the second best team, I think, in the league. There's Kevin Lamb, me, and then you might have a conversation about Jones, Olsen, but it's not you. So I'm not worried. I got a stronger bench than I think you have starting team. Oh, and you call my name generic? Do you know how many fucking Anthonys I work with and just meet on any given day? It's insane. So, yeah, there's like, I've never met a Michael Weston, but tons and tons of Tonys and Marullos, Nardulis, all the same Italian last names. So, anyways, look forward to playing you, Tony.
All right. It's playoff time. Favorite time of year, for those of us that tend to enjoy it. I think this is one of the best teams I've put together. Don't think between this and championship roster a couple of years ago, I don't think I've drafted a better team. Made a couple small trades here and there that helped build it out, but feeling great going to the playoffs. I mean, the team hasn't scored less than 130 points in 7 weeks or so. So, sorry for this matchup with James. Been playing really well, obviously, coming into this. But I think one of the challenges I've had this year is that my defense has been horrendous. Number one points against from the league. My points against would have been the number 2 scorer in our league for the year, only behind my actual points for. And I think as you think about what can you do to really set yourself up for success, it's good defense will help win championships. So I have to really plan and prep for my opponent. I have to get into the mind of my opponent, understand what they're going to do, roster decisions, which way they're leaning. Are they feeling more anxious? Are they feeling like they're going to just risk it all and put some risky flex in there to try and win out? So with that, I decided to hire a private investigator and look into the person that I'm playing. So I had an individual in Baltimore set this up. 1 minute. All right, clean cut over. But here we see our suspect coming out of his car from day at home. A little bit of a blurry picture, but seems suspicious. Coming a little bit late, later in the day, got the black hat on. It leaves me a lot to wonder about what this man's intentions are. So we move forward. Now he looks at this. He's got a busted front tire, it looks like. Probably looking at the air, maybe he's got a nail in it, something like that. Probably thinking about CeeDee Lamb's shoulder. Same way he might hit a bump in the road and have a problem with his front tire, and CeeDee Lamb might fall down one game, all of a sudden he's out. Maybe he benches CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. These are the things you can get when you have a private investigator come in and actually set this up for you. Now I go into his home. As I look inside of his home, I say, okay, very clean, very nice. In the middle, it doesn't seem like he's really contributing much, focusing too much on his phone, potentially his roster. Is he overthinking some decisions? Ad-dropping kickers, ad-dropping defenses. He's unprepared. These insights as we kind of move forward, okay, looks on edge here. I think he's going to make some wild decisions going into this. Now he's picking at his teeth. This is disgusting. I really just can't believe he would do this in front of my private investigator. But every single one of these photos, I see two things: him looking at his phone, and him just not ready to make a decision on this roster. So I think he's going to make some bad decisions going into this week. He's overthinking it, unprepared. Mook is sitting there wondering why he's so anxious. He's playing me. That's the anxiety right there. I think coming out of this quick analysis, looking at my opponent here, it seems pretty clear. He's on edge. He's ready to make some questionable decisions. Maybe he's going to bench CD. He's got a lot of anxiety going in with his car, his people. He's got this anxious tick picking at his teeth. All these things give me a better insight and edge to understand the mind of my opponent. And Brian's texting me. That's weird. He's on his honeymoon. Why would he be texting? No. Nobody picked. Okay. Nobody picked me, but somebody picked James? Brian and I are playing together? Wow. Okay. Well, this is a first for the league. Someone's picks the 4 seed. Shocking. Find myself unprepared now. I can't get another private investigator in St. Lucia. That'll be too challenging. The logistics alone of getting the one for James was okay. Well, Brian, you guys were playing together this week. I hope you had a wonderful wedding. Hope it's a great honeymoon. I think there's something in the mail currently as a wedding gift, but it's the only gift I'm going to be giving you this week. I'll be putting the team out in full force, and I think your day in the sun's over at this point. Hope you have a wonderful next few days. Don't turn on Thursday Night Football. Don't turn it on Sunday. Just don't even think about it. Had a great season. Made the playoffs. Enjoy your honeymoon. Everyone have a great playoffs. Yeah. See you next round. You guys fucked me. Straight up, bent them Tortugas over and fucked me with. I don't even know what Kevin Lynn's team name is this year. Doesn't matter, because they're going down. Not likely.